So one of the things I love about the show is the change in tone and how that kind of catches the audience off guard every now and then. Are we going to see that again at the start of season 3?
Most definitely. No, I think that that's one of the things that our show does well. We keep the audience guessing. I mean, we never really stay in one place for very long. It's a show that shifts and changes and evolves, and you know, sometimes that can be a little discombobulating even as an actor, but it keeps it interesting and it keeps it fresh, and I think it does that for the audience as well.
Mm-hmm. Claire seems to have an amazing ability to fit in anywhere and everywhere that she's put. Do you have in your mind where she is best suited, though?
I think most definitely she feels most alive when she's back in the 1700s. There's something about living on the edge of life's, you know, on the edge of the knife, I guess, that suits her personality. You know, I think when I first got the role and I was doing all my research, I focused on her life during the war and being a nurse at the front lines, and I think that was when she felt very alive. And going back into the 1700s sort of has that same immediacy and danger that she functions really well in.
Mm-hmm. And we're now going to see a progression of that, as you mentioned, from being a nurse to now being a surgeon. Mm-hmm. How has that come about?
How has she become a surgeon?
Yeah.
A lot of study. That was probably, she went to Harvard, as we see all of our Harvard's certificates. Yeah, you know, when she went back to the 20th century, and this is something that I love about Claire. I mean, she left the love of her life and she came back pregnant and sort of recontinued her marriage to Frank. And even though it wasn't exactly the happiest union, she found a way to get herself to medical school in the 50s and 60s, which was almost unheard of for women at the time. So she's just a trailblazer, and you know, as we go forward, you'll see how those skills really stand to her.
Mm-hmm. We've heard Brianna mention that she struggled to connect with her mother, or that there's been some distance between them. Will we again see more of that? And why has that happened?
You will see a little bit of that for sure. I mean, I think that, you know, that was sort of where their relationship was left at the end of season 2. But, you know, anytime somebody harbors a secret, it creates distance. And both of them not being able to, well, for Claire, not being able to be fully herself with her daughter has come at a huge price. I mean, they definitely have a strained relationship. But I think now that Brianna knows the truth, it's paved the way for them to rebuild their relationship in a much more honest way. And I think that that's when you start to see them really appreciate each other. And it's quite beautiful, actually.
Mm-hmm. We've heard Claire mention that she hasn't told Brianna about Jamie because of a promise that she made beforehand. Does she ever feel tempted, or will we see any kind of moments where she slips and maybe gives something away?
No. I think Claire's a woman of her word. I think that what Frank did and what Frank has given Claire and Brianna in terms of the stability in the family and the love is something that Claire does not take lightly. And you know, the return promise or the return gift that she could give him was to really put that side of her life to the side and not bring it up again. So, you know, it was difficult, but I think also the wounds were so deep and so painful for Claire that it was almost easier to just lock it away and not deal with it again.
Mm-hmm. And finally, one last question. We've seen your character age with grey streaks and so on.
What do you mean?
Is Jamie going to go grey, or is he going to do the thing that most people do and go bald?
No, we've decided to give him a walking stick, and he's sitting at home now eating all the pies. So he's just putting on those extra few middle-aged pounds. No, no. I think you know, for most of for Sam anyway, I think it's a lot to do with more how the weight of his life's experience sits on him rather than something drastic physically. Yeah, he's got good genes. What can I say?